What's up you guys, it's VincaniTV, and today I'm going to share with you how to create the ultimate dance floor. Now, if you're anything like me, I personally like practicing either by myself or with small groups of people. And it's definitely nice to practice with people, but I don't like practicing with a ton of people. I sometimes feel like I'm unproductive. Maybe it's very old school of me, but I personally like to keep whatever I'm training, whatever I'm working on between myself and my crew members. It's nobody else's business, and I'd rather bring my new material to a jam and surprise people with it versus let them see it at practice. So with that said, today I'm gonna be creating my own dance floor. And I know I've already done a video about how I waxed the floor and how I, made it look super nice, but there is also other options, and I wanna share those with you guys. These are things that I grew up with, and the first one is linoleum. So you can pretty much go to almost any hardware store and get yourself a quality piece of linoleum. But the thing is, it's expensive. And growing up, we all had linoleum, right? We all had pieces of linoleum. We brought it with us to random places, to parks, so that we could practice pretty much anywhere. But we were also broke too. We didn't have any money for linoleum. So what we did is we went to Home Depot, and if you look in the scrap section, the section not like where you get it freshly cut, you look in the scrap section, and we would find these like 6 foot by 6 foot pieces for like 10, 20 bucks. And a lot of times it was just as good as the big roll, but it was a small piece, and that's all you really need is those pieces that, there's no floor small enough for them to use, so they would just toss it. Recently I went to this garage sale, and this wasn't any other garage sale, this was a Jimmy Kimmel garage sale where basically they were just getting rid of all the junk that Jimmy Kimmel has accumulated through the years, and one of them was a really big piece of linoleum. It is, how big? 12 by 34. So this is a pretty huge piece of linoleum that I actually got for only $20. It's used, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be cool. I think this is just one of the perks of living in LA. There's a lot of random studios that just got a lot of random junk that they don't need. One man's trash is another man's treasure. For those of you who don't know, I used to do martial arts when I was younger. When I was 14, I started working, teaching kids Taekwondo as a part-time job, and so I have a lot of friends that are in the martial arts world that still are actively in it. And one of my friends, he actually recently closed his studio, and he had all these pads, and they're also rather new, so I bought them off him for a pretty cheap price. If you guys are shopping around for stuff like this, especially if you look on like Amazon, look for stuff that's very stiff. Like if you watch, if I push into it, it actually gives. The trouble with some of these pads is they're so squishy, and you might think, wow, squishy, I would love to dance on a squishy floor. It's actually pretty dangerous because your hand gives into it, and when it gives, your hand will stick. So say you're doing a flare and your arm twists, well, you just sprained your wrist, right? Or same with even your foot. You stick your foot and it gets stuck, it can't pivot, you just sprained your ankle, or maybe tore something in your knee. So you gotta be careful. You don't wanna have too soft. You wanna have something that'll give, but is also firm. These pads are actually pretty expensive, but you could find cheaper ones online, or you could do like I did and become homies with some people that got martial arts studios, or even just cold call a martial arts studio and see if they have some old pads that they wanna get rid of. Because again, it's the same thing. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So we're gonna take these and we're gonna piece them together and make our mat. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, Vince, you just spent a bunch of money on this luxurious mat. Why would you buy linoleum to cover it? Well, for one, I like to spin, and this surface is not the greatest for spinning, so that's why. Number 2, on these mats, if you keep dancing on them with your shoes, you're gonna tear them up. And even when I bought this mat, there's actually some marks where somebody stepped on it with like a heel, and it has holes in it. So, I mean, that's probably why I got it for cheap. But nevertheless, if you dance on this with your shoes too much, you will tear it up. So that's why I got the linoleum to cover it, to protect the floor from my violent footwork movements. So we're gonna go check that out right now and see what this looks like. So it appears that this linoleum piece is a little bit shorter than how long it is, but that's okay, because I'm just looking to protect the bulk of it, and hopefully anybody I invite over here to practice will respect that I probably spent some money buying this stuff to make their dance experience wonderful. So I got this knife. I'm gonna cut all the tape that's holding this thing together off. As you can see, I got it for $25. That's a bargain that I cannot pass up. This thing wouldn't even fit in my car when I got it, so I just like got some rope and like it was sticking out the back of my car like 5 feet. So if you do have access to a truck or have homies that got trucks, or don't have homies without trucks, you should go make some homies with trucks, because that would have made this experience much easier. So right now I'm gonna cut this tape and roll this thing out. Oh wow. Now that's a dance floor I think people want to dance on. If you guys have ever dealt with linoleum, you'll know one thing, that it rips, and especially it does wear down too. So luckily I got this fat 34-foot piece that if I need to, I'll just cut it and make another one. But if your linoleum does happen to rip, what you can do is grab some duct tape and just like put a piece of tape on the back of it. And you could put it, like if it's on the edge, that's fine to tape it here. But like say you have a hole in the middle, I wouldn't recommend putting a tape right on the top of it, because that actually would cause it to get really sticky, and it won't, you won't be able to slide as well anymore. And with any floor, especially a floor that you got used like I did, you should probably clean it. So I'm gonna wipe it down really quick as we talk, and then actually I'm gonna steam mop it because I'm a germaphobe. The reason I put this dance floor together in the first place is because I've been dancing for about 15 years, and if you know, maybe even after 5-10 years, you're gonna start experiencing a lot of different pains, and you might need yourself a luxurious dance floor such as this one. If you guys wanna make yourself a fancy dance floor like this one, go ahead, look on Craigslist, look out there, make some calls, call some martial arts studios, call some gyms, call places that might have a roll of linoleum that they're trying to get rid of, especially if you live in LA or some city that would have a bunch of stuff like this. Call around, see what you can get, and I think you guys are gonna be happy with the results. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for more videos, make sure you subscribe to VincaniTV. Peace.